Alright, welcome back. This is, I didn't change the stream name. Damn it. This is going to be a mini stream. I'm going to do some construction. Not going to be a sit. I didn't get up early enough for that. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow morning. But, yeah, I'm just going to get some more of that building done. Unhappy with that furnace. But, yeah, we'll figure it out. Just have a nice morning coffee. Play some video games. I had an amazing dialogue with myself on the way back from the coffee shop this morning. Some good stuff based on my future political runnings. Alright, that's seen worse. God, maybe I should just... I don't know how loud this is. I should be keeping an eye on that. I'm sure all you can hear is the Roomba anyways. Why is this so fucking big? Why is this so big? Damn it. The rest of the Fallout free run just consists of clicking to progress through Raven Rock, grabbing the modified FEV canister from Eden, exiting Raven Rock, and heading to the Jefferson Memorial to complete the game. There isn't much to say about it, considering all of the information I've dumped on you so far, so I'll let you enjoy check. Check. Ooh, there we go. Check. Alright, perfect. Well, you can hear me from here, so I don't have to have it fucking crammed down my throat anymore. You probably hear everything else. Roomba. Maybe I'll shut up so you can hear the game. Golly. I need more verticals. I need more spinny boy. I need more elbows and verticals. Do I have in here? Yeah, fuck it. I need more verticals. I need to change the whole thing. Roomba, furnace, me drinking coffee. I don't know. I don't know. I need a different mic is what I need. One of those pointies that's called a shotgun mic. I think this is a shotgun mic. I don't know. One of those long sticky ones. Probably give me a little bit better noise rejection. That's not going to be enough. 2 might be enough. Oh, I think that's 3. Wait, did they combine in the back? I've never seen them do that before. Wait, what the fuck do you want? Oh, weight 7 sapphire. No, I mean, looks like they're in there.
3. Can I go up 1 there? Will up 1 help me there? I think up 1 will help me there. I also do kind of want to change the layout a little bit. I got straights, 3 ups. Left, though, isn't good. I want right.
However, we can't use quicksaving and quick loading to skip the intro dialogue from Doc Mitchell, which you'll see in a moment. The reason for this is that we can only quick save and quick load when we have control of our character.
Anything else I want to get while I'm here?
Fallout in Vegas, like all the other Fallouts in S.i.R, is run on very easy,
I should probably get that weigh scale. Just gonna need one. An anvil. Might as well buy him. Really step up my earnings game. Yeah, if anybody wonders why I do this, I'm hoping that, you know, the sultry sound of my voice works for people want to hear it.
This is because Doc Mitchell's unskippable intro dialogue is actually 4 seconds faster in Italian than in English, and is the fastest language. Turns out neither this actually is.
I do kind of want that rake, though.
Once we affirm
If we have enough, I'll get it.
we are friendly now, we stand up and gain control of our character. Special stats matter in the Fallout Vegas one, unlike in Fallout.
Ah, okay, no rake. No rake. No, no rake. That's how you do it, boys. What was that? Wall lantern. Oh, maybe I want a standing lantern. I have enough for that. Developers. See, buying one thing would have been fine, but now that I bought multiples, it would have been faster to move the vehicle. Although it's not a speed run, I'm supposed to be enjoying myself. It's an efficiency thing. It's a German I got in me. No, yeah, she is not as efficient as she could be, da. Anarchy stream. I got a Roomba going, the furnace. I'm just watching the audio levels, picking up all this stuff in the background. I don't know why. I could have just left it there. I'm gonna need something else later.
The reason for all of this is to do the bit I'm doing right now, which is called reload drafting. First, let me say that right now I'm making my way towards the Vegas Strip, and along the way I'll be discovering the hidden valley and Black Mountain crash cover locations to return to later in the run. Reload drafting is...
Yeah, we're gonna have to redo this whole thing. There is nothing about this setup that's gonna work for me. So...
This will launch you forward a considerable distance. The way this works is that in New Vegas, when you finish the reload animation for a gun with a 1 bullet at a time reload animation, your character is forced to move forward a small amount, even if you aren't holding W. When you hold W and do all the actions you mentioned earlier, you gain more or less boots.
Or do I just put it there, maybe? Just lift these up? Maybe.
The reason for this is that not only does Fallout 3 not have special ammo types that would allow for this glitch to be performed with, but Fallout 3 doesn't even have any guns with a 1 bullet at a time reload animation. You'll also notice that moving at high speeds and bumping into objects tends for you to get shot in midair. We try and prevent this by quick saving and quick loading, which resets your momentum to 0, allowing for you to stop mid-launch and also eliminate fall damage. After we launched ourselves to the monorail and enter New Vegas proper, we briefly speak with Victor and head over to the Ultralux. There, we're going to stop hop on back to my number one frick in New Vegas, Mortimer. We're going to talk with him and immediately exit.
Come on. Oh, it's got the hammer. It's in range. I can get it.
Just meet each individual tribe and not necessarily
Put the hammer down somewhere.
This main quest line is the most bare bones, requiring us to just pass judgment on each of the tribes for whether or not they should live. All of the other factions that we can end the game with, like Mr. House, the S.i.R, etc., require us to actively participate in a lot more events, whereas with Yes Man, we can just say we aren't interested. Once we exit the Ultralux, we dash over to the tops real quick, where we're going to hit a trigger and quick save.
Accidentally bought enough elbows. Loop.
This allows for us to be able to level up.
Big pit I dug is for nothing. No.
We level up survival to
R. Nope. T.
every point we get from here on out into
R.
After our third level up here, we'll be able to select Travel Light as a perk, which will increase our running speed by 10% whenever we're
Nailed it.
no armor or light armor. Instead of playing as a female and screwing Benny in his room, instead we decide to just screw him over in the lobby.
Let's all go to the lobby.
We head upstairs to his room via the elevator and click out of bounds immediately to COC in his room. Here we meet the young political candidate himself and begin our descent into madness. In order to complete Yes Man's questline, we need to have him installed into Mr.
Excellent.
This means that we have to evict the person.
But I don't care about that one.
Mr. House's computer.
I want gold. You, and I put you there, and I need you, and I put you there. And then, do I want that one to be that? I can change them after.
38, we perform a clip in the penthouse level to go out of bounds and allow for us to use the third-person interaction glitch to access the control room.
There's that guy. You go here. For some reason that works. This has got my... Nope, that's gotta be one of those. How?
You may notice that I'm able to distribute my skill points very quickly, and this is because I use both the right arrow and click on the increase button. I have a button on my mouse that functions as my right arrow key, allowing me to do this without moving my hands across the keyboard. Once we're out of the lucky 38, we get a talking to by an S.i.R trooper, after which we head right over to the Gamora.
Nope.
After a friendly conversation with the doorman, we have sufficient experience with their tribe to make a judgment call on whether or not they should be eradicated. We're now beginning the segment of the run where we have to go
Oh, that was weird. Ear just popped funny.
Before he installs himself into Mr. House's computer. The first tribe that we're going to meet after exiting the strip is the Boomers. The Boomers live relatively nearby and are easy to reach by just reload dashing to the east along some railroad tracks. After arriving at their gate, we'll be taken to their leader, Pearl, who will notify that will help them with some problems they've been having. In the meantime, you may be asking why I didn't try and get Speed Cripple in New Vegas and use that in junction with reload dashing. The answer to that is very simple. You can't reload dash with the broken leg animation, and you have the animation during Speed Cripple. If we were to get Speed Cripple, then we would just walk across the wasteland instead of doing whatever the hell reload dashing is. Technically, you can reload dash sideways when you have Speed Cripple, but it's not worth it and is overall slower.
Burp.
After talking to Pearl, we head out and fast travel.
That's iron. Iron?
Is where one of two remaining tribes is located, and that tribe is the Brotherhood of Steel. The thing about the Brotherhood is that they wear armor, so instead just have to shoot them once to realize that they would be harder than your average tribe to kill, and we should just leave them alone as well. The last tribe for us to meet
Do I not have one more concrete block?
were located in Red Rock Canyon. In order to get there, we fast travel to Good Springs and proceed to Revo dash our way on over.
I was going to do it along the water, was the other option I had. I wanted to do it along the water. There's a big fucking hole there now. Realism is not.
Meeting the Great Khans is that instead of actually interacting with any members in the Red Rock Canyon, we just have to hit a trigger in the middle of the area and leave. This counts as having met them, which I chalk up to in the lore as admiring their camp so much we couldn't even fathom bringing harm to the people who live there. After having met all the individual tribes, we fast travel back to the strip and proceed to tell Yes Man that we should leave them all alone, followed by agreeing to meet Yes Man in the Lucky 38.
It's a good start. Good start. Good start. Alright, now I turn the pipe around to get everything going. I could have put a valve in, but.
In the Lucky 38, Yes Man will install himself into Mr. House's computer and proceed to give us a demonstration about the Securitron upgrades in the Lucky 38 basement.
Ooh, either that or some bone conductors. I might go with a bone conductor. I like those. Big fan of air shocks. Air shock? That's weird, I never called them. The open back. Or not the open back, the ear. I'm done.
Finishing the demonstration, Yes Man will ask us whether or not we'd like to become involved with the assassination of President Kimball. We've already killed one president in this anthology run, so we decide it's best not to get involved. We're then tasked with using the override chip at the El Dorado substation. Earlier in the run, we discovered Black Mountain, so we just fast travel to there since it's near to the substation.
All right. Well, that's a good start. I think I could pour. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Unfun. No. 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 Oh, I need a gold. Shit.
The huge battle sequence at the dam can be largely launching ourselves around the building in the middle of the dam. Once we make it to the other side of the dam, we have a clear shot to make it to the Legate's camp.
Ooh, I got a torch. Should be able to see what I'm doing. Grab this.
When we finally make it to the camp, we round out the run by using our 100 speech to convince Landis to not fight us, followed by talking with General Lee Oliver.
Scheisse.
The New Vegas run officially ends on the brief loading screen between talking with Yes Man and the end slides.
Golly. No. Waste time. Excellent. Love a good waste of time. Oop, fish.
If you made it this far in the video and are still watching, I'd just like to say thank you before Fallout 4 starts. I work a full-time job, and speedrunning is something I do on the side for fun, but the amount of support that everyone has showed, especially over the last couple months, is immense, and it really means a lot. Soon, we're going to be hitting 50,000 subscribers, which is a number that I never even considered a possibility when I started doing speedruns 2.5 years ago. So again, thank you. I appreciate you guys, and your kind words mean more than you realize. Fallout 4 is hands down my best speedrun of all the runs in the anthology, and is the perfect anchor to end the run with. The first thing that you'll notice about the game is that it's being played in French, which is because the dialogue is about 11 seconds faster than English and is the fastest language overall. Fallout 4 is played on version 1.1.30, which is one of the first patched versions of the game. We downpatch our game because there are 2 glitches that we're going to be doing later in the run that are only possible on early versions of the game. For our character presets, I pick the Asian and the Ginger because they're the presets I like best, but when I pick them, I cycle through them in a strange pattern. This is actually the time where Codsworth will be in the house, because he roams the house before you start the game, and talking with him while he's walking back to the kitchen saves a second. The intro to Fallout 4 is pretty slow, and mostly consists of just talking to everyone the moment they begin their lines, which skips their lines. After talking to Nora and Codsworth, we wait for the Vault Tech rep. When we establish
damn it.
stats, we're going to max out both endurance and agility, put 1 point into intelligence, and then dump the rest into luck. Endurance directly affects the drain rate of your AP when you sprint. The more you have, the slower it will drain, and the longer we can sprint for. Agility directly affects the total amount of AP you have. The more you have, the longer you can sprint for. Intelligence affects the amount of XP you get for completing tasks like discovering
I wonder if I got another. Did I bring a vertical? I think I got one more vertical, because I only used one and I bought 2. Might as well bring it down.
You automatically have both your HP and AP completely replenished. Ideally, we want to level up at some point in the run to replenish our AP and get a free bar of sprint the moment we run out of AP. Luckily, if we have just 2 intelligence, the amount of XP that we get throughout the run is perfectly added up so that we level up the moment we're going to run out of AP during a prolonged running segment. If we had any additional points into intelligence, sure, we might level up more, but additional levels don't benefit us in any way in this speedrun, whereas we save time by leveling up at the right time with 2 points of intelligence. Like I said earlier, we dump the remainder of our points into luck, but that's not because it benefits us in any way later. There's no benefit to putting our points into any other stat, and luck is just physically the fastest one to dump any remaining points into. There aren't any perks or passive buffs that the other special stats give us that would benefit us in the speedrun, so we don't
Damn it.
really care about them and just throw them into luck. After we've completed all of our duties in the house, it's time for the
Fuck.
and to enter Vault 111.
Fuck. I can't put it down.
Leaving our spouse and son to fend for themselves. When we approach the gate to the vault, we talk to a military officer and mash E to talk with him again as we finish the words
God damn it.
in our sentence. If we time it correctly, it will completely skip the officer's line and we can run past him immediately.
Laissez-nous entrer. On est sur la liste. Laissez-nous entrer. On est sur la liste. Laissez-nous entrer. Bonne chance. On est sur la liste.
When we step onto the elevator to enter the vault, we notice our spouse and son somehow made it against all odds. We then get to watch a 100% scientifically accurate explosion that totally wouldn't kill us instantly as we lower into the vault.
Approche-toi. On peut pas aller plus vite.
Wait, did it go all the way to the top? Come on, you. Come on. I would really love to have not.
Once we're in Vault 111, we're going to head down the linear pathway and talk with the doctor before entering the cryopod. This will trigger a cutscene about 2 minutes in length, which gives me just enough time to go over a few glitches that I'll be performing in the vault and throughout the run. The first one, which is the most straightforward, is item climbing and clipping. If you pick up an object by holding E so that it's not added to your inventory, and then have it just the right distance from you and in the correct orientation, you can use it to push yourself either over walls or through them. This is done by holding the object, looking down, and walking backwards into a wall or corner. Typically, you just have to hold down S while doing this to walk straight backwards, but a couple times this is made easier by holding a combination of directional keys. This is done a handful of times throughout the run using guns like pipe pistols, but will be done in the vault using cones, which is a variant of item climbing known as VLC clipping. We're going to be doing 2 in the vault to skip having to run down some hallways and to skip opening the big vault door. The second glitch that I'm going to do shortly is called punch warping. In Fallout 4, when you attempt to melee attack an enemy or object like a frag mine using VATS, you can be out of typical range when targeting the enemy. Once you confirm your attack, the game will more or less teleport you next to your target and you'll finish your melee attack. Well, if you're standing in a position where, in order to move you to next to the target, the game will need to clip you through objects or place you out of bounds, the game spends an additional second between when you confirm to attack and when you actually teleport next to your target, thinking about how to pathfind you to the target. If you cancel the VATS attack while the game is thinking, then the coordinates of the location where you were standing get stored in the game's memory. Then, the next time that you melee attack an enemy in VATS, the game will teleport you back to the coordinates where you set up your punch warp. I'll get to how coordinates work in Fallout 4 in a moment. The third glitch that I'll be doing soon is called cover sliding. Fallout 4 has a cover mechanic where you can aim around corners with your gun while still being partially uncovered. If you stop aiming while using this cover mechanic, and the moment you stop aiming you also enter third person, then you more or less interrupt the animation of you stop aiming from cover. The game is very upset that you interrupted this animation, so much so that the next time you're in first person and take out your gun, the game will have you complete this animation, but it wants you to complete the animation in the same places where you started it. This means that when you take out your gun in first person, the game will slingshot you back to the coordinates of where you set up your punch warp. Notice how I said cover sliding slingshots you, while punch warping teleports you. These two glitches serve near identical purposes, but have very different methods of getting you to your destination. Because cover sliding slingshots you, you can bump into objects along the way, which throw off your trajectory and also can stop you in your place. This also means, though, that you can slide through locations and discover them during your cover slide. Because punch warping teleports you, then you instantly appear at the destination. This is great for interior areas because you can just jump from the beginning to the end without having to worry about walls. Typically, punch warping is preferable since it's 100% consistent, but at the same time, you can't discover locations during it. I should also mention that punch warps can be stored through saves, wherein you can set one up, load an old save, and trigger it, but this isn't doable with cover slides. The way the coordinate system in Fallout 4 works is every location in the game, whether it be the wasteland or an interior cell like Vault 111 or the Institute, is set up on a three-dimensional coordinate plane. The location of yourself, as well as every NPC and item, is kept track of with this coordinate system. Instead of each area having its own unique coordinate grid with unique numbers, each area has a coordinate grid based around an origin point placed somewhere randomly in the area. When you set up a punch warp or a cover slide in one area, like say Vault 111 at the origin point of 000, and then trigger it in another area like the wasteland, then you'll get sent to the coordinates where you set it up, 000, but those coordinates in the wasteland. Coincidentally, because the wasteland is so large compared to interior cells, any punch warp or cover slide set up in an interior cell will have the stored coordinates be relatively close to the origin in the grand scheme of things. This means that whenever you trigger a cover slide or punch warp in the wasteland, it'll get sent towards the origin point, which is near the center of the map by Green Tech Genetics. In the vault, I set up my punch warp using some rad roaches and standing between the wall and some boxes.
What?
And then set up my cover slide in the final room while waiting for the elevator. When I exit Vault 111, I'm going to head over to a nearby rock on the hillside where I'll trigger my cover slide. I position myself there since it's in line with Sanctuary, so when I slide, I'll discover the location. In addition to that, it's low enough to the ground that I hopefully won't die from fall damage, whereas if I triggered my cover slide from the vault platform, I'd for sure die from fall damage. When I trigger the cover slide, it will bring me to the outskirts of Concord, which isn't the center of the map, but it's in the general direction of the center of the map. Cover slides sort of have a max distance they can slingshot you, and luckily Concord is right where we need to go. You may have noticed that I completely skipped picking up the Pip-Boy in the vault. You can actually exit the vault just fine without the Pip-Boy, but the game doesn't like that, and it automatically gives it to you upon exiting. The thing is, though, is that the Pip-Boy is invisible. The Pip-Boy will only become visible again when I either enter Power Armor or go to the main menu and reload my save. We're going to be doing the latter shortly, so we'll have our Pip-Boy soon enough. The only downfall to this is that because we don't pick up the Pip-Boy, we never brush the dust off the screen. This means that the Pip-Boy screen is full of dust and is a bit cloudy throughout the full run. When we land outside Concord, our main goal is to be sure to discover the Museum of Freedom location before triggering our punch warp and heading to the center of the map. We need to help out the Minutemen to a certain extent, but we need to have a certain quest before doing so. Otherwise, we would have to visit with them twice, which is not optimal. The quest that we need is the nuclear option, which, if you're familiar with the game, is the last quest in the main story before the end cinematic. The reason we need this quest is that it spawns an item on Sturges called the Institute Relay Targeting Sequence. We're going to be pickpocketing this item off of Sturges when we rescue the Minutemen, because we just need the item to complete the game, and we don't need to actually side with the Minutemen. You may be asking how we're going to get the nuclear option if it's a late game quest. When we enter this sewer, we're going to quit to the main menu and reload the autosave that was made when entering. When you load a save that was made underwater from the main menu, you get spawned at the top of the water, which just so happens to be out of bounds in this sewer. We can then swim along a pipe and hit a trigger which automatically gives us the nuclear option quest. From there, we exit the sewer and begin heading towards Good Neighbor. Now, in order to complete the game, we need to buy some items. You may have noticed, though, that I haven't really done any killing or looting, so I don't have any caps. That's fine with us, though, because one of the two glitches that is only possible on early patches of the game is the vendor glitch. I forgot to mention earlier, but the other of the two glitches is cover sliding. Anyways, the vendor glitch. If you purchase a stack of one item from a vendor, say some ammo, and then proceed to sell back one bullet, followed by the remainder of the stack, one bullet will remain locked in your inventory that you can sell over and over again. If you sell about 10 to 20 of these bullets and then attempt to buy back the full stack from the vendor, then you'll continually sell the stack back to the vendor over and over, essentially giving you infinite stored credit. We're going to be doing this to Daisy, but first we pick up a frag mine outside of mass fusion because we can use frag mines to set up and deploy punch warps rather than rely on enemy positioning. After entering Good Neighbor through the back alley, we proceed to shop with Daisy and purchase a long list of items. Included in this list is a biometric scanner, Radaway, Stimpaks, both Destroyer's chest piece and left leg, another frag mine, some Molotov cocktails, and some weapons that will be used for item clipping later on. After buying all this, we proceed to steal a Fat Man and Mini Nuke from Clea. We then serpentine to the exit and will bind everything upon exiting. The reasons for buying each of the items we bought are as follows. Biometric scanners are a required component to build the teleporter near the end of the run to enter the Institute. Radaway and Stimpaks are for our run across the glowing sea and just making sure we don't die at all throughout the run.
Dang it.
Destroyer's
Forgot
chest
about that.
piece reduces damage from humans by 15%, which will help with ensuring we don't die. Destroyer's left leg increases our movement speed by 10%, which naturally is great for the speedrun. The frag mine adds to our total count that will allow for us to set up and trigger punch warps wherever we want. The Molotov cocktails will be used in a moment in the Museum of Freedom for combat and also to manipulate enemy aggro. And lastly, as previously mentioned, the pipe pistol and shotguns we bought will be used to item clip. After binding everything, we run to discover the Boston Common, followed by fast traveling to the Museum of Freedom. As I enter the Museum of Freedom, I'll loot the dead Minuteman outside to get his Minuteman outfit, which I'll equip later and increases our agility by 1. I'll also throw a Molotov cocktail into the air as I enter the door, which will then hit the ground upon exiting the building again, which will make the game consider us to be an aggro and allow for us to enter the power armor on the roof with a fast, in-combat animation rather than the slow, typical one.
Oh,
Once inside, I'll clear out the raiders, which will cause for the Minutemen to open the door to the room they're holed up in. Technically, we can item clip into the room they're in and avoid having to kill the raiders.
oops.
The problem with this though is that we have to pickpocket Sturges and the Minutemen are impossible to interact with in any way unless all the raiders are killed and they open the door. Once we clear out all the raiders and the door is opened, I'll shoot Sturges a handful of times, which will cause for the Minutemen to aggro to me. Once I put away my gun though, they'll forgive me and I'll be able to pickpocket Sturges. Typically, when the door opens up, Preston has a long dialogue and we can't pickpocket Sturges during it. However, by aggroing them, the dialogue is interrupted and we can steal the item. On our way out, we set up another cover slide.
Perfect. What are you? Oh, a floor. My floor torch.
Outside, we're able to enter the power armor quickly thanks to the Molotov.
Oh, get off.
We then proceed to jump off the roof and cover slide to Lexington, all the while not taking fall damage thanks to the power armor. Unfortunately, we got a rare bad cover slide in this run and had to awkwardly waddle to discover Lexington before fast traveling to it. Typically on this cover slide, we actually land inside of Lexington and have it discovered immediately, but we got a little unlucky this time. When we load in, we have to ditch our power armor at the fast travel location and then run into Slocum Joe's and enter the basement. The reason we came here is that this is the location of the loyalty quest for the Railroad faction. Typically, in order to join the Railroad and have them trust you, you have to come here with Deacon and retrieve an item called Carrington's Prototype. If we come here alone though and clip into the room the prototype is in, and then we proceed to pick up the prototype and drop it again, the quest updates as if we have just retrieved the prototype and are ready to turn in the quest and join the Railroad. We don't actually need to pick the prototype back up after dropping it. Also, while in this area, we pick up a mini nuke that's chilling next to the prototype.
Shoot. Shoot.
After punch warping back to the entrance, we're good to go and actually join the railroad. Upon exiting the basement, we fast travel to the Old Corner bookstore, which is a location we discovered as we were entering Good Neighbor. There, we will proceed to run to Old North Church, which, upon entering, we clip into the basement using one of the guns we bought earlier. The most important part of the entire anthology run is actually coming up in a moment, but it's a blink and you miss it strat. If, when you enter the Old North Church, you don't proceed to run towards the Paul Revere statue and say Papa Paul bless, you will be cursed with 100 years of bad cover slides. It is of the utmost importance that you do this every time you do a Fallout 4 run. Papa Paul bless. Inside the church, we clip into the basement as I mentioned earlier and proceed to talk with the members of the railroad who were apparently just sitting here waiting for someone to arrive so they could confront them. Unfazed by the fact that I just fell from the ceiling and appeared from nowhere, the railroad will gladly accept me as their newest member. When we finish all the dialogue with Desdemona and Deacon, we'll then be part of the railroad. We'll celebrate by setting up the cover slide in the corner behind Deacon and entering the railroad HQ.
Donc, on essaie de libérer les sapeurs-pompiers.
Non, je pense pas.
Reste clair, on va se séparer.
On fait une bonne équipe.
La meilleure. Et le petit nouveau va penser mes plans.
C'est un plaisir de vous rejoindre. Appelez-moi. When we enter the HQ, we're going to pull up our Pip-Boy, followed by the perk chart. Here, we're going to take our only perks of the game, Action Boy and Solar Powered. Action Boy increases our AP regeneration rate by 25%, which is immense and helps out a ton throughout the run. Solar Powered increases both our strength and endurance by 2 whenever the in-game hours are between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. We follow this up by fast traveling to Lexington, followed by back to the HQ, and followed once more by to Boston Common. The reason for this is twofold. One reason why we do this fast travel is that it skips the dialogue that Desdemona would usually give welcoming you to the railroad. The second reason is that it manipulates the in-game clock to be between 6 a.m. and p.m. so that we can take full advantage of solar powered in a long-running segment that we're about to do. First though, we need to head to Diamond City.
Balls.
On the way there, we're going to pick up a frag mine that's laying on the side of the road. Then, instead of entering Diamond City the intended way with talking to Piper, we simply VLC clip into the back area of the exterior and run into a loading zone. This puts us at the main entrance to Diamond City and skips the dialogue between Piper and Mayor McDonough. The reason we have to go to Diamond City is to enter Nick Valentine's detective agency. Nick is required to progress the main story later on, but he typically spawns in Vault 114 under Park Street Station. However, there's a trigger inside of his detective agency that, when entered by the player, causes for Nick to be automatically moved to the agency after dealing with Kellogg. By entering his agency now, when we return after dealing with Kellogg, Nick will be here rather than needing to be rescued from Vault 114. To get to the agency quickly in Diamond City, I trigger my cover slide after entering.
Oops.
Upon exiting the agency, we fast travel back to Diamond City and exit. Right when I load in on the other side of the door, I make a save and begin running to the southwest corner of the map. We're heading this way to discover Virgil's lab, which is the farthest southwest we can go in the game. You may be asking why we have to run all the way there instead of just cover sliding or punch warping there. The reason for this is that Virgil's lab is so far southwest and the coordinates are so extreme that there are no other places in the game that have coordinates that are the same as the lab. This means that we can't just set up a cover slide somewhere and slingshot ourselves southwest, because it would just bring us back towards the center of the map. Along this run, I'm also going to be setting up a cover slide. Our goal after this glowing sea run is to head to Fort Hagen, which is on the west edge of the map and around the middle. Because we're in the far southwest corner, if we set up a cover slide and then go to the northwest corner and trigger the cover slide, we'll slide along the west edge of the map and we will stop around halfway at Fort Hagen. You may also be asking why I made that save outside of Diamond City. That's for a glitch called load warping. If you remember all the way back in Fallout 2, we did a glitch called save warping. Load warping is similar to save warping, but a little different and a lot more.
Alright. Where does that put me?
Making a quick save and then loading an old save.
I don't know where that puts me.
If, in the old save, I enter an area...
I guess I could start going down, making a little clearing down here.
And during the fade to black eye quick load, I'll load in on the other side of that door, but as the character from the quick save. This means that at any point I can load an old save and maintain progress, essentially allowing for me to fast travel out of buildings where I would normally have to run to exit the building before fast traveling. That's why I made a save outside of Diamond City, because the fade to black there is very long and load warping is very easy to do there. When we make it to Virgil's lab, I'm going to make a save there as well, so we can load warp straight there later too. Ideally, we would like to load warp straight to our destinations whenever possible. The problem with this though is that load warps are incredibly hard to perform on doors. Luckily, in the cases of Virgil's lab in Diamond City, the entrances are open areas we walk into and there are no doors. In other cases though, like Nick's agency and the Railroad HQ, we would need to open a door, which makes the timing of the load warp incredibly difficult to do. Because of this, we load warp to Diamond City whenever possible and fast travel to our destination. The only time we're going to load warp using a door will be at the end of the run in the Institute. We take consolation in the fact that the Institute door is a sliding door, which has a much easier timing to load warp with rather than a traditional hinged one. After all, we don't want to do anything actually difficult in a speedrun. Coming up is when I'll be setting up my cover slide, followed by running up a giant hill to enter the crater of Adam. You may remember at the start of the run when I talked about a precisely timed level up thanks to only having 2 intelligence. That's going to be happening right when I discover the crater of Adam. If you watch my AP bar as I approach the location, I try to ensure that I have 0 AP as I discover it. This way I'll have maximum AP usage and sprint time before I discover the location and replenish my AP. After discovering Crater of Adam and leveling up, it's a straight shot to Virgil's lab.
I need a new bucket. couple of funnels too. Yes, yes, I need that hammer. Construction hammer. Alright.
Upon discovering the lab, we make our save and fast travel to Lexington, which you may remember is where I ditched our power armor earlier. As we finish loading in, I'm going to mash E, which will cause for my character to begin entering the power armor during the fade-in. From there, I'll fast travel to Vault 111 and begin my cover slide towards Fort Hagen. Earlier, I said that to cover slide, you need to be in first person and have your gun out. You're going to notice that when I perform this cover slide, I'm actually in third person. This is a variation on the method to deploy cover slides. When you're in third person and pull up your Pip-Boy, the game considers you to be in first person as long as you have your Pip-Boy up. This means that if we are in third person with our gun out and then pull up our Pip-Boy, the game will consider us to be in first person, ergo triggering our cover slide. However, if we double tap tab to enter and exit the Pip-Boy very quickly, we will cover slide a short distance and be back in third person. We can actually enter the Pip-Boy again to move another short distance and so on and so forth. This method usually allows you to use a short slide about 4 to 5 times before your cover slide is completely used up. But with this method of cover sliding, we're able to make it all the way to Fort Hagen. Here, we ditch our power armor for good and climb up to the area where you're supposed to exit at the end of Fort Hagen. We perform a variation of item clipping called horizontal thumb clip to enter the elevator area and ride it down to meet Kellogg.
Oh, golly. An hour or so.
We drop a gun while we're in the elevator and item climb against a locker once the elevator doors open. We take out our Fat Man in preparation to talk with Kellogg because we can use the big gun skill check to intimidate him into handing over his cybernetic enhancements. After conversing with Kellogg, we pick up a military-grade circuit board, view the access logs on a nearby terminal, and load warp out to Diamond City.
Son of a bitch. This is a smithing hammer, right? Yeah.
In Diamond City, we run on over to Nick's where we speak with him and Piper. They'll talk about where we should go next and decide the most logical place is the memory den.
Mon client, t'as pas ton péché pour retourner dans les affaires des autres.
Tiens, quand on parle du loup,
Bon, voilà.
Et... Ok, vous aviez raison, Nick.
merci.
Il faut que je trouve un moyen.
Ça fait plus d'un.
Tout à fait ça. Bien.
C'est ça.
C'est vrai. Il pouvait sûrement rentrer.
Ouais.
Il est mort, Nick.
Donc
Et c'est bien. J'espère que vous ne vous
What am I missing here?
Once they're done talking, we're going to exit the
Q, vehicle forward, vehicle reverse. Fire.
possibly the most despised one as well. Before I get into why that is, let me first preface it with what we're going to be doing in a moment in terms of speed tech so that I can rant about this segment in the story uninterrupted. In the memory den, we're going to be talking to Dr. Amari and Nick, where we'll decide that we're going to enter Kellogg's memories that will be implanted inside of Nick's head. This will be followed by a long dialogue where Nick and Amari discuss the implant, and it's an A&B conversation that we're supposed to sit there and watch. Rather than twiddle our thumbs, we're going to set up a punch warp in the corner of the room, run to exit the memory den, and then re-enter, which effectively skips the dialogue. We'll then trigger a punch warp on a man in a lounger.
How do I use the fucking anvil, for fuck's sakes?
The man we trigger a punch warp on is actually Deacon. Also, when I'm running to exit the memory den, I'll grab some jet that's on a nearby table since it's used in a glitch later on. After the punch warp dialogue,
What am I fucking missing?
More brief dialogue, followed by a prompt to sit in the memory lounger and explore Kellogg's memories. Normally when you sit down there, you have to sit and listen to Dr. Amari talk for about 30 seconds. However, if you shoot Amari to aggro her, then wait for her to shoot you so that Nick becomes aggroed as well, then down her and sit in the chair, it bugs out a script that de-aggroes Nick and Amari and skips her long dialogue. That will put us in Kellogg's memories and we'll begin the walking segment.
Oh, because I gotta heat it up. Ah, right. Like, what the fuck?
Ways we've tried to bypass it. Skipping this segment is the pipe dream for every Fallout 4 runner. The reason why
Nailed it.
this segment is
Fucking nailed it.
slow and just destroys the pace of the run. We're forced to walk for about 1 minute and 20 seconds straight, followed by standing there for 2 minutes listening to some dialogue. It's just flat out boring.
Fuck your mouth, you cunt.
If not hundreds of different things tried to skip this segment, but we just can't figure it out. One of the most commonly suggested methods to skip it is to just blow warp out. After all, that would put us back into the wasteland and able to walk around and do stuff, right? Well, yes and no. We would be free to walk around, but our actions would be limited to just walking. When you enter the memories, your character enters a ghost state where all you can do is walk and interact. No sprinting, no Pip-Boy, no weapons.
There we go. Alright.
The only way to remove the ghost state is to access the TV.
I can't swing it.
Memories to exit the sequence and update the quest stage. But let's say that we found another way to remove the ghost state, which is a thing we've actually found. What about then? Would load warping out be beneficial? Well, no, it wouldn't. The reason why is that in order to complete the game, we need to have an NPC named Virgil spawn so that we can talk with him and progress some quests. You may remember that we set up a save outside of his cave to load warp to later on. Virgil doesn't actually spawn at all until you complete the memory den quest. And in order to actually complete the memory den quest, you need to sit through the entirety of the last area in the memories, interact with the TV, and interact with Dr. Amari afterwards. Only then will Virgil spawn. Now, I know that I just painted a rather grim picture when it comes to potentially skipping this segment, but it's actually not all that bad. Another runner named Brongle actually found a way to skip the walking segment that we're currently doing. That would save 1 minute and 20 seconds off the run if we could do it in a run. There's a bit of a snafu though. The skip to this walking segment requires a little over 1.5 minutes of setup. That means if we were to do this skip in a run, we would effectively be losing 10 seconds rather than saving 1 minute 20. It just seems that whatever we try to do to skip this segment, the game has an answer. With that being said, I currently have a $250 bounty out for anyone who can find a way to skip entering the memories in a way that saves time and is applicable to the any percent route. I'd also like to remind everyone that there are currently some other bounties I put out on glitches in this game. I have a video on my YouTube channel about it, and there should be a pop-up in the top right corner now that you can follow if you'd like to watch that video and maybe make some money. People often ask me if any of the bounties I've put out have been claimed. None of them have been claimed yet, but that's not to say that there's a lack of effort. But don't worry, if there's ever any developments on any of the bounties, I'll be sure to make a video about them and let you all know. With all that being said, I'm sure that if you're unfamiliar with the Fallout 4 story, that you're a bit lost right now. To put it shortly, a man named Kellogg took our son and killed our spouse. We then found out that he was hired by an entity known as the Institute to kidnap our son. Our goal now is to enter the Institute, but the issue is that no one knows where it's located or where the entrance is. The purpose of this memory sequence is to act as a reveal that there actually is no entrance to the Institute, and that the Institute utilizes teleportation to come and go. It later turns out that there actually are a couple other hidden entrances, but we aren't able to access those in the speedrun. After we exit the memory den, the story will progress as follows. Virgil will spawn
What do I need?
and go talk to him.
Another smelter would be nice. Makes things a little easier. Ooh, and then I get that bucket.
We'll build the teleporter with the railroad after having received teleporter plans from Virgil. And then once we're in the Institute, we'll use the item we pickpocketed off of Sturgis earlier to sequence break the game and cause for Preston to hand over a fusion pulse charge, with which we will blow up the Institute and end the game. When this segment ends, we'll be able to access the TV under the stairs, which will bring us back to the real world. The bloody Dr. Amari will tell us to move slowly, but clearly she doesn't understand speedruns. We're going to shoot her once to skip her lines and advance a quest stage, followed by load warping out to Virgil's lab.
What do I need? Do I need to sell any of this stuff? Do I need to sell any? What do I need? I mean, a shard separator would be nice. A couple more separators. Drilling machine would be nice. Almost time for a drilling machine. Some more water pipes. This is pretty well done. I like this. This is a pretty good, at least 3 more separators. I could merge those into one.
When we finally get to meet Virgil, we are going to instantly swoon and wish he was a romanceable NPC. Unfortunately, Bethesda thought that would have been a bad move, but now that I think about it, I'm fine with it because it would surely cause for our character to have a limp. Virgil will let us know that we need to trace a radio signal to a courser.
We'll see how many I get. We'll see what that gives me, and then we'll know. A couple of funnels wouldn't hurt.
We can head straight there. If you don't know what a courser is, they're pretty much elite robot soldiers that the Institute employ to kill people and retrieve lost property in the wasteland. The location that the courser spawns at is Green Tech Genetics, which, if you remember, is the location that we punch warped to at the very beginning of the run and discovered before entering the sewer to get the last quest. You may wonder why we didn't just enter there right away, and it's because the door is destroyed and you can't enter the building until you actually begin the quest we just got. There is a door on the roof of the building that we could technically go into, but it's locked from the inside, and even if we somehow find a way to open it, the courser doesn't spawn until we begin this quest. When we arrive at Green Tech Genetics, our goal is to reach the top level of the building where the courser is located. There, we're going to negotiate with the courser to hand over his courser chip. We'll get to the top level via a combination
Negotiate.
of punch warping.
I like that. Fuck you. What else? We'll start with conveyor stuff. I need conveyor stuff. Conveyors, a couple of funnels. Splitter left. I have 3 different gems. 1, 2, that's my 3 gems. I need a shard one. Shard, what else do I got in there? That other stuff would be nice. Deeper claim. Onyx, maybe. I do have some onyx.
Along the way, I'll rest for 1 hour to skip Desdemona walking around the building, and also fast travel to the HQ again, exit, and re-enter to skip some dialogue lines.
What else is in there? You know what? I'll buy. We got. Oh, I didn't check how much money I have. Yeah, pipes.
Take a look at my goods.
Whoa, easy there. I think that's good. Could be happy with that. Click that.
J'ai un rapport qui me semble aider de
Ouais, c'était moi. J'avais besoin d'une plus de chasse.
You won't find better prices than
Well, I need some buckets. I will need some buckets. I need some lots of things.
décrocher la table sur ce coup. Donnez la puce.
And then de la pousse. A grocer. Oh, I will. I'll grab fish baskets.
Rather than run back down the stairs to trigger Tom's dialogue and enable us to leave the area, we're going to set up a variation of a cover slide called a dialogue slide to be able to move across the area quickly. After doing so, we'll then load warp out back to Virgil's cave and progress the main quest. This stop by Virgil's lab will be our last and will also be a short one. Because we completed the fixer chip with the railroad, we'll promptly hand over the plans for the teleporter.
Gem compressor, eh? I'll need the logic for it. Just get a couple of funnels. Do I need 3?
Je veux des résultats, pas des épaules. Mais si, peut-être
I got 3 there, and I need at least 1 more there, because whatever falls off the end can fall off the end. 400, 800, and another 400 bucks. Grab another bucket just for shits. Can I get one more? Yeah, we'll get one more. We'll put a funnel for our bucket. We'll get a bucket funnel.
Luckily, at the beginning of the run, we discovered the first cover slide. This means that we can just fast travel to there and build the teleporter, rather than going to fall back.
How many fishing pods can I get? 5. Oh, I can get a few.
This saves about 17 seconds. Before I fast travel out, though, I dropped the military-grade circuit board from my inventory. This is because we need the board for the second phase of construction, but during the first, the board will automatically...
Gambling. I can't remember if they fixed this or not.
We're going to be coming back to the HQ briefly, so it's okay to leave the board on the ground for now. After we built the platform for the teleporter, we have to head back to the HQ to speak with Tom once more. While we're here, we can't forget to grab the circuit board. After talking with Tom again, we can finally finish off building the...
Next time we'll get the compressor. Oh, come on. Put the fucking thing down. Oh, I didn't save any money for pipes. I'm gonna be low on pipes. Oh, well, we're gonna have to do some fishing to make room for pipes. Well, if not, I'll do a scrap run. Any money for pipes? Ooh, 2 pipes.
After this conversation, we'll be prompted to stand on the platform and be teleported into the Institute. Normally, when you step on the platform, there's an incredibly long monologue that Tom would give, talking about firing up the teleporter. However, if you time it right, you can pull up your clipboard and fast travel teleported into the Institute immediately. When we load into the Institute, we're immediately going to load up the Institute relay targeting sequence into the nearby terminal. This will cause requesting Garvey to teleport in and hand over the aforementioned fusion pulse charge. While he's teleporting in, we're going to set up the punch roll real quick.
I'm gonna need T's.
After grabbing the charge from Preston, we set up a save variable to load work to later on. Then we're going to perform the hardest curve in the entire game. All you have to do is sit down, then stand up, and you're free to roll. This is where that jet we grabbed earlier comes in handy. Jet slightly increases your jump height, which allows for us to make this huge leap to access the advanced systems level. From the advanced systems level, we're going to immediately enter
Needed
the
2 more.
reactor and trigger our punch roll. This punch roll will bring us right next to the reactor where we can plant the fusion pulse charge. We'll let no work to the friends and fast travel to the railroad HQ. When we get there, we're going to aggro the railroad very quickly, which will skip a monologue that does the motor with our good.
Yeah.
Immediately though, so they forgive us, because if we're too late, then the run is done. Aggroing the railroad not only skips the speech, but it will also teleport us back to the Institute.
Might as well slap that there.
This isn't supposed to be how the game is completed, but when we got the nuclear option quest in the sewer, we technically started the quest in the middle of it. Because of that, the game didn't know who we were actually siding with, but it defaulted to the Minutemen. So in the game scripts and coding, it thinks that we're completing the game, and it doesn't know who the option quest is set up.
It sucks.
And has us finish it with them at the same time.
That sucks. Do I bring it back? Maybe I just do a crap load. And just do a shit load.
Once we get teleported back into the Institute, we're somehow able to fast travel to the railroad HQ, despite being inside a building that we don't yet have the ability to fast travel from. When we arrive at the HQ for the last time, we're going to speak with Tom, who will allow for us to use a detonator to blow up the Institute. After this last dialogue, we load up to that Institute door, proceed to finish out the game.
I am going to need those corks, though.
The run officially ends when my HUD and rifle disappear after blowing up the Institute. Overall, I'm very happy with this run, but it is improvable. I'd like to better my time someday, but I don't think that will be for a while. But this is an exhausting run to grind out, because you need to get 5 really good runs of separate games in a row. In the meantime, I think I might stick with main runs in the Fallout games, and maybe branch out into doing speedruns of other games. If you made it this far,
Any buckets? Buckets for fish, eh?
in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed the webcam footage of me taking off the point of view camera and celebrating. This was a Fallout Anthology speedrun. I've been tomatoing, and I hope you have an above average day.
future you plan for yourself shifts rather than you ready. At some point, it happens to all of us. This wasn't the world I wanted. It was the one I found myself in. The Commonwealth. I hoped. Ripped apart and put back together. I hoped I could find my family, cheat time, make us whole again. The way we were. Now I know. I know
Oh.
I can go back. I know the world has changed. The road ahead will be hard. This time, I'm ready. Because I know war. War never changes.
War never changes. Yeah, I need it. I need it. Where are we at time-wise? Not doing too bad. Another 45 minutes. See what I can get done. I'd rather. Weather's not the greatest, but
Come on, Uganda.
181. Oh, I got 4 splitters. Gonna need corks. Got 2. Mm, 181, eh? 44. Shit. Just a little shy. I would have preferred burning the cart down, but I'm waiting for this thing to run out of gas. I don't know how to. Ooh. Okay, now I need the construction hammer, which I put down. Where did I put that down? Oh, there she is. That stays there. That does not. That stays there. That stays there. That stays there. That stays there. Okay. Wait, didn't I? Oh, yeah, there's 2 more. I need another one. Looks I had to. Wait, what? What is going on here? Oops. Couple of corky boys. Okay, I got iron, I got gold, I got ore. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then you grab this guy. Lock that in, lock that in, lock that in, lock that in, lock that in. Yeah. Put a funnel. Put some funnels here. Right? It's gonna give me cut emeralds. Oh, I didn't get enough buckets either. Because that doesn't work. Fuck it. I need a mining machine. That's running. Those are running. This is a useless waste of time. because unless I have some sort of collection device for those, it's going to be... You know what would really work for me? Fucking bed. Iron. Also, the way the lighting works in my room, I got a ton of glare. Yeah, I can't see a fucking thing. I guess I turn the brightness on my TV up, but... Oh, damn it. One, two, three. Oops. Can't see a fucking thing. Alright, where does that put me? Nowhere better. I need buckets. I need tubs. What else has he got? Demon Soul, Super Mario Odyssey, Titanfall 2. HEQ 2020 was a good one.
Hey everyone, my name's Tomato Anus, also known as the human equivalent of a wet band-aid, and this is a segmented any percent speedrun of Titanfall 2. This run is performed by my friend Brian Nato, who holds the world record for this run and also helped me make this video to make sure I didn't goof any of the info about the run. As always, links to this run without commentary and also Brian's record are both in the description if you prefer to watch either of those. The setup for the story of Titanfall 2 is pretty straightforward. We play as Jack Cooper, a rifleman in the militia, and are being trained by a dude named Captain Lastimosa to become a pilot. Pilots operate Titans, which are mech-styled robots. So we're being trained by Captain Lastimosa to become a pilot, and we're in a war against the Interstellar Manufacturing Corporation. Over the span of 15 missions, we'll see Jack's story play out, and the goal of the speedrun is to get through all of the missions using any tools at our disposal. With that being said, let's get into the run.
What up, I'm Gavin Chainsaw Hands. I have a 42-inch vertical, and this video is sponsored by Manscaped. Manscaped sells the perfect package 3.0, which contains the Lawnmower 3.0, Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver Ball Toner, the Shed Travel Bag, and anti-shaking boxer briefs. I'll show you the boxer briefs, but I left them at your mom's house. The Lawnmower 3.0 also has advanced skin-safe technology, which reduces nicks and cuts, so you can make your tree stand taller and stay safe doing it.
Beauty.
You don't know what I mean by that? Here's a dramatic reenactment.
It's good. It's funny. I am laughing.
Get 20% off and free shipping. Anything you get
Wait, what the fuck is this? Oh yeah, color.
your balls and body will thank you, and so will your girlfriend. And tell her I said hi. And tell her she forgot some clothes in my place last weekend. And tell her to answer my phone calls. And tell her she...
I hope you're ready because this run has a lot of movement tech that builds and compounds upon itself. Up front, we play in Mandarin because this game has a lot of dialogue in it, and Mandarin has the shortest dialogue by about 36 seconds. Also, we included Brian's input display on screen to help visualize the inputs required for the movement in this run because it'll get pretty complicated at times. Included below the inputs is a speedometer for our movement speed, so you can see how various pieces of tech help build and maintain our momentum. The normal running speed in Titanfall 2 is 22 kilometers per hour, so keep that in mind throughout the run as you occasionally look at the speedometer to see how fast we're going. So as you'll see right at the start, the movement in this run isn't lame like the movement in the Fallout 4 speedrun where you just hold W and run straight towards your destination. There's a lot going on here, like a lot, and there's not a good way to present all the info at once for how this movement works and all the parts that go into it, but by the end of this video you'll have an understanding of how it all works, hopefully. Until then though, the information will be a bit piecemeal. For this mission, in short, Brian is making their way to the shooting range, and along the way, they're waiting for certain audio cues from Lastimosa to progress, and also going so quickly that we skip some dialogue with Lastimosa before he has a chance to appear near us. When Brian arrives at the shooting range, you're going to wall climb up to quickly grab a hidden EPG-1, which is a rocket launcher, before respawning and grabbing a rifle and clearing out the targets. Let's get into movement though. One of the most fundamental pieces of movement tech in this speedrun is something called slide boosting. Once you build up enough running speed and meet a certain speed threshold, if you crouch, then you slide on the ground, giving you a slight speed boost. Another piece of movement tech that you see Brian doing now are damage boosts, which are super common in gaming and don't require too much explanation. One thing worth noting though is that you can't die in this mission, so we're much more liberal with our damage boost, whereas later in the run they're much more risky. We used the EPG and some grenades, and we snagged a damage boost in this time trial, which saves about 8 seconds compared to not using them here. So you can imagine how the time save builds up over the run from frequently damage boosting. After Brian finished the time trial, they kept moving to start
There
the
we go, that's a good
time trial
start.
as they were going again, but immediately slowed down and exited the gauntlet, skipping some dialogue with Lastimosa. After skipping his lines, it becomes a waiting game where we listen to him talk about some stuff and things and stuff, and once he stops, then we get transported to an open field where he'll talk about more stuff and things and stuff. While the dialogue goes on, let's get into the next piece of movement tech, slide hopping. Slide hopping is what Brian was largely doing earlier, where they were zigzagging at the start of the mission. So remember that slide boosting is when you run above a certain speed threshold and crouch, you slide and get a slight speed boost. If you're moving and jump and then crouch as you land, you still get your slide boost. However, if you crouch as you land and then jump again, you still get the speed from the slide boost, but you'll have jumped again rather than slide. You can then continue to crouch and jump as you land over and over again, maintaining the speed from the slide boost, keeping us moving at high speeds. This is slide hopping, the chaining together of jumps repeatedly and holding crouch as you land, which keeps us moving at high speeds. So there are a lot of cutscenes in this game, and we actually have time for another explanation of basic movement tech. If you're unfamiliar with Titanfall 2, it may come as a shock to you that it runs on Valve's Source engine, which is the same engine that games like Portal, Half-Life, and CSGO run on. A big piece of movement tech in this engine, with Titanfall 2 being no exception, is what's called air strafing. The Source engine has a speed limit on how fast your character can travel when you hold W to move forward. This is to prevent your character from constantly accelerating and eventually becoming faster than light, where they then have to live in darkness. Valve didn't put this speed limit on movements performed when you're holding either A or D to move sideways. So by turning the camera and using our strafe keys, we can move in our desired direction through the air, circumventing the speed limit imposed on our character, letting us travel faster than intended. One thing worth mentioning now, though, is that the air acceleration in Titanfall 2 is much lower than other Source games, meaning that we can't turn super fast in air without losing a ton of speed, but we have ways around it, and we'll get to that later on. Now, there's still some cutscenes left in this stretch, but if you're like me, then you watch things for the plot. So if you're trying to keep up, we're being deployed to a battle in territory controlled by the Interstellar Manufacturing Corporation, IMC for short. We got pulled out of our training with Lastimosa, where he was training us to become a pilot, so this battle better be worth it. While we wait on the plot to develop some more, though, let's go.
Oh, yeah.
We've
I didn't
explained
realize
slide
that.
hopping
Fuck
and air
yeah. Fuck
strafing,
that
but quick
shit. Fuck
reminder,
that
even though I
bucket shit.
just explained them, slide hopping is the chaining together of jumping and crouching to keep up high speeds, and air strafing is circumventing the forward speed limit by instead moving sideways in the air and steering by turning our camera. What I haven't told you yet, though, is that slide hopping and air strafing are actually combined throughout most of the run. Air strafing while slide hopping is key to fast movement in Titanfall 2 speedruns, and if you watch Brian's input overlay, you'll see that they often will be using the A and D buttons to navigate while slide hopping rather than just holding W. Additionally, because the shortest distance between two locations is a straight line, you want to stay on as straight a line as possible where applicable. Air strafing doesn't lend itself well to straight lines since it causes you to move horizontally in one direction, but Brian counteracts this by just following up some air strafe slide hops with an air strafe in the opposite direction, meaning that for a lot of the speedrun we're pretty much slalom skiers. When we gain control at the end of this cutscene, Brian will combine these two pieces of movement tech to quickly get across the battlefield and trigger another cutscene. Again, if you watch Brian's input display during the upcoming movement, you'll be able to see that they're typically just strafing by holding only A or D while performing all the slide hops. Give me a moment to catch my breath and relieve your ears of my nasally accent while we watch an example of slide hopping and air strafing in action.
Hold, please.
Once we're across the battlefield and trigger the cutscene, we'll be immediately knocked to the ground and are going to almost be curb stomped by an enemy Titan before we're rescued by Captain Lastimosa. This cutscene is also pretty long, but that's good for us because we can cover more movement tech that you should know about before we get any further in the run. Now, I can guarantee
What did I come up here for?
down enough to comment when I explained slide hopping earlier, saying something along the lines of slide hopping is just bunny hopping. Call it what it is. Oh boy. That's where you're wrong, because slide hopping, as described earlier, is not bunny hopping. Bunny hopping is its own thing,
go to
and
the
it's used in niche situations throughout the run. As I mentioned earlier, slide hopping requires you to slide to get a speed boost, and then chaining together jumps where you remain crouched as you land each time. Bunny hopping is much more simple than that. For bunny hopping, you remain standing, and you just jump as soon as you land. They're similar, yes, but bunny hopping is just moving forward and jumping as you land. Slide hopping has a bit more going on to it. Bunny hopping has its benefits, like you jump much higher, which comes in handy at times and also lets you take corners a lot tighter. The timing on when you have to jump is much narrower, so overall it's typically better to just slide hop.
I should have brought the fish. Oh yeah, I should be able to get a machine for that.
Scroll wheel for jumps to hit bunny hops perfectly every time. The answer to that is you're not able to bind the scroll wheel to jump, but also slide hopping as a whole is much more versatile if you're good. Anyways, I don't want to overload you with a bunch of tech at once where I'm explaining it and there aren't any examples of it happening in the run as I explained, so let's talk about some less intense stuff. So as you may have been able to tell, in Titanfall 2 you can run on walls. Normally, if you run on or grab a wall, then you can't then run on or grab the same wall without first running or grabbing onto a different wall or spending an extended amount of time in the air. Pretty much, the game just doesn't want you to be able to just infinitely run on the same wall with no breaks. This wouldn't be a speedrun though without a workaround or exception to the rule. Some walls in the game are curved, and this rule about grabbing onto the same wall doesn't apply to sections of the same wall that are separated by a curve. This means that we can pretty much zigzag our way up a wall if there's a curve in it. This zigzagging is also pretty niche, so it's not something to really keep in the front of your mind like slide hopping or air strafing. So, getting back to the cutscenes, Captain Lastimosa was injured in the battle last night when coming in to save us. It seems like he's okay though, so we can continue working by his side for now.
What's the logic, guy?
Brian just killed him. Well, now with Lastimosa experiencing his last moments, Brian changed the course of the story of the game, and Lastimosa will now transfer his Titan BT-7274 over to us, so we're now officially a pilot. Unfortunately, BT is kinda gassed from the fight last night, so we need to get him some new batteries, but luckily there's some nearby that we can go retrieve. When this
they're token. What do these do?
Move backwards once we gain control. This is because there's a wall behind us, and by walking back and doing a quick jump off of it, we start out with a bit more speed than if we began walking after the cutscene as you normally would. First though, before we even get to that, we have to build a nice little wall.
Oh. Well, that sucks.
Near the beginning of our movement, Brian will pick up a shotgun for clearing out some enemies in the level, and will build up some speed using a combination of slide hopping and air strafing. Again, look at the input display as Brian performs this movement, and notice how when air strafing during each jump, they're only holding either A or D, and also notice that they're holding down the crouch button, since we have to be crouching
and I forgot.
to perform slide hops.
I have no idea what I was looking for, what I was hoping to find. Machinery, equipment.
No double jump for us quite yet. The movement has been thoroughly routed to optimize lines while minimizing things like collisions and climbing up ledges. Like right here where Brian skips a wall run we're supposed to do by jumping super late to clear a gap without having to mantle on the ledge. Also, remember just a little bit ago when I mentioned the fact that you can re-grab a wall if there's a curve in it? Well, right here's a brief example where Brian does a quick zigzag up a wall with a slight curve so that we can get to the intended upper pathway a little quicker. Brian then takes out a few enemies so they don't get in our way and makes their way to a difficult open area referred to as death.
I'll just do that.
And a river that kills you if you fall in, but Brian is able to easily clear it and head into a cavernous area. In these caves, there's a sloped surface that we run up at one point, which the fact Brian is able to do smoothly is super impressive, due to the fact that there are a ton of rocks on the surface that are big enough for us to climb up onto like they're a ledge. Once we make it out of the caverns, then we'll be approaching a crashed ship, which is where the first Titan battery we're retrieving is located. When Brian eventually has the battery in their hands, they'll make a beeline back to BT, throwing a grenade as we arrive to clear out some enemies and load up the battery into BT. BT's a thirsty boy though, so we'll have to get another battery somewhere else, building up just a stupid amount of speed thanks to the previously discussed tech, in addition to some stuff we haven't gotten to yet. So let's take this moment to talk.
Ooh, I don't know if I got 430.
Crouch as they land on a slant.
Tight.
60 kilometers per hour the instant we touch the ground, which is a piece of tech called a slant boost. So another thing worth mentioning is that our double jump gets refreshed whenever you run along the wall or touch the ground. Sometimes though we don't want to touch the ground for any of a handful of reasons, and getting into a wall run may throw off our angle if we're on a sick line. It's in these cases that we can use a piece of tech called a wall bump. Wall bumps are super straightforward, where if you're in the air and to crouch and to collide with a wall, then your double jump gets refreshed. Wall bumps are a bit more niche, but they can help out in tight spots, and we also don't lose any speed by performing them. Let's get into something more.
Oh, but I need more pipes. Fuck, I am just. See, it would have been nice if I could come back for that, but apparently not.
And then jump off the wall within 5 ticks of beginning the wall run, then you get a slight speed boost. This is a wall kick. At its basics, it's very simple, but there are several factors that play into how good of a wall kick you get. The two things that most affect the quality of a wall kick and the speed boost you get is the angle that you approach the wall from and the angle that you look at in relation to the wall when you jump off to perform the wall.
Much higher.
The rule of thumb is that the smoother your approach and less drastic / more parallel you approach the wall from, the more speed you'll have coming off the wall kick, and similarly, the more forward you're looking when you perform the wall kick, the more speed you'll have. Because obviously, if you approach the wall by gently gliding,
Well, whatever. Learning.
than if you'd slammed into the wall like Spider-Man in training. The idea of approaching a wall from an angle that's approaching zero may sound difficult, and honestly, it is if you're not practiced, but thankfully we do have air strafing in our movement toolbox, which helps in the process and lets us correct our angle gracefully while maintaining breakneck speeds. The name of the game in Titanfall 2 speedruns is momentum preservation, and wall kicks are a huge part of that. Try to keep an eye out for them. Look for when Brian ends a wall run pretty much as soon as they start one, it's likely a wall kick. Back to the run, when Brian arrived at BT, he tossed a couple nades to take out some enemies that were dropping by to say sup. After then loading up BT with the battery, we hop inside to begin the combat training sequence for operating BT. Overall, the upcoming training segment is
Need a straight and 2 spinnies, 2 turnies, 2 corners. Elbows is the word I'm looking for. Spinnies, 2 spinnies, 2 roundies, 2 straights, 2 unstraights.
Like the wall has an end to it with a sharp corner, then by jumping off the wall during the short window as you pass the corner, you get a speed boost similar to if we had performed a wall kick. So that's edge boosting, jumping off the wall after you run out of the wall
Don't do that.
and run past the edge of it. A very similar sounding but entirely different piece of tech to edge boosting is something called end boosting. When you wall run, if you perform the full wall run without jumping off, then the game will eventually try and push you off of the wall to end the wall running animation. If you perform a jump off the wall as the game is pushing you off of the wall, then you get a similar effect to a wall kick or edge boost. This is much more niche than wall kicks or edge boosts though. However, there is a way to force an end boost to occur that's used all throughout the run and unsurprisingly called a forced end boost, but we'll explain that a bit more in depth later. So, to again summarize these 3 most recent pieces of tech. Wall kicks are when you jump off a wall right when you start a wall run, which gives you a speed boost. Edge boosts are when you are performing a wall run and then run out of wall to run on, and as you pass the edge of the wall, you jump off, which gives you a speed boost. And lastly is end boosting, where you let your wall run play out to completion, and as the game has you begin to drop off the wall, you jump off, which gives you a speed boost. They all have pretty similar results, but different executions. They're all used frequently in one form or another though, and I'll try to call out some instances of them throughout the run. So after we take out our first enemy titan of the run in a moment, we're then going to begin transitioning into the third mission of the game, Blood and Rust, where we'll start out the mission still piloting BT. So when we're controlling BT in this game, we have 2 little boost dashes we can use to launch us forward a little bit, and they recharge over time after use. In this game, if you have a lot of speed, you lose the most speed when you're touching the ground. For this reason, it's most optimal to use our dash boost when we're on top of ledges or bumps like rocks, as you'll see Brian do at the start of the third mission in a moment, because that way we're boosting from an elevated position and we'll have more time at our boosted speed since we're in the air for longer. Additionally, there's a small piece of tech called crouch dashing where after we use a dash from a raised surface, we hold crouch to stay in the air for slightly longer. As we make our way down this aqueduct looking stretch, Brian will perform a fun little thing called tone slide, where there's an enemy tone, which is a smaller titan, and the top of their head is about even with our feet when we boost. If we line things up correctly, then boosting crouch as we pass over the tone, we kind of just grind on their head briefly, preserving our speed for a little extra distance. Once we make it inside the nearby building, Brian is going to ditch BT so that we can travel on foot. As fun as BT is to party with, if it's possible to travel by foot, then for the most part we're going to choose to do so for the sake of speed. After a quick damage boost in a moment, we'll be skipping a large chunk of platforming by performing an end boost on a
Damn it. I may have accidentally sold that.
And split up from BT for a chunk of the level. The overall goal of this mission is that we've decided to carry out Lastimosa's mission and rendezvous with someone named Major Anderson, but some militia members are holed up here in IMC territory after the battle where Lastimosa died, and we're gonna save them. After BT finishes his line here, Brian takes that as a cue to begin moving, beginning an absurd stretch of movement throughout the level that capitalizes on a lot of things we've previously discussed, including the easy-to-see things like slide hopping and air strafing, but also things like wall kicks, which again are when Brian exits a wall run within 5 ticks of starting it to get a slight speed boost. One thing that Brian also does that's often overlooked by people unfamiliar with Titanfall 2 speedruns is something called the wall jump arc. The wall jump arc is the most optimal way to gain speed and distance after jumping off a wall run. When you jump out of a wall run, air streaking back towards the wall you jumped off of results in the greatest amount of speed gained in addition to distance traveled. While at first listen this may not sound super helpful because you typically can't wall run on the same wall twice in a row, keep in mind that we aren't always going to be running on walls, so performing the wall jump arc at the end of a wall run sequence is often the most efficient way to gain speed when returning to solid ground, or even get extra distance on our jump to span large gaps. Something else that you might have noticed throughout the run so far is that we're able to turn invisible for short stretches of time. If you haven't played Titanfall 2, this is an ability called Cloak, and Brian is mostly using it in areas with high enemy density so that we can get by unscathed, and it will also get a lot of use throughout the run. So throughout most of this level we've been separated from BT, but coming up we're going to perform a skip called Sludge Skip, to skip a sizable combat arena. As we go through a tight corridor with yellow pipes, we'll see BT standing behind a fence across the way. So normally what happens then is we go into the next big area, activate the sludge pumps, and then fight off waves of enemies before we can progress. As we enter this area, BT is talking to us, and normally after we finish our dialogue with him, then BT will move from behind the fence where we saw him. For Sludge Skip though, after activating the sludge pumps here to begin the combat encounter, Brian does some tight platforming to get to the fence from where BT is talking to us and
That
enter
could be
BT the
enough.
moment
It's
that we
gonna be
finish our
barely
dialogue with him.
enough.
This is a bit trickier than it sounds because the timing on it has to be just right, where we need to make it to BT before the dialogue is over, but we need to actually respond to BT when he talks to us, because if BT doesn't go through all of his lines by the time we enter him, then the game soft locks. It's for this reason that we have to enter BT the moment we finish dialogue with him, because if we're too early then the game soft locks, but if we're too late then we won't be able to enter him because he won't be behind the fence anymore. We've now entered the end of level boss fight against an enemy Titan operated by Kane, who's the mercenary.
Oh, goodness gracious. It's true. Nice sit stand desk might be nice. Actually, a sit stand desk might be perfect.
Base one in the Titan loadout, which Brian swapped to right before the fight began, so that we can use the 40mm cannon for this fight. To quickly take out Kane, Brian is going to hit him with 3 rounds of our 40mm, followed by rounds of the tracking rockets ability, and then rinsing and repeating with a use of our salvo core ability, which launches missiles thrown in for good measure. One thing that you see Brian do here, as well as throughout the rest of the run, is a tech called swap reloading. By quickly swapping our loadout,
I might have a straight pipe. I definitely don't have 2 turn pipes. Well, I can check on my way by. Won't be too bad.
Swap reloading works with all the different Titan weapons that you reload, but is most effective with the 40mm. After we take out Kane, then we quickly
20 minutes. I gotta call it quits. I get her done.
After which BT will identify a shortcut that will take to reach Major Anderson quicker, which leads into the next mission. While we listen in and the mission ends, we have a moment of
I do have a straight pipe.
to kill the time by sending you all a message at home, and I'll take this moment to send a message as well. First, I hope you're doing well. If you watch most of my videos, you'll have heard me say this before, but it bears repeating. No feeling is final. No matter
Oh my god, get out of my fucking way.
How you feel right now is not conclusive or definite. Feelings of dread, hopelessness, or despair do not define the rest of your life, and things will get better. There is a tomorrow, you will be here for it, and the world is a better place with you in it. So, getting back to the run, as Brian runs out of time to send a message, we're brought into mission 4 titled Into the Abyss, which opens with a long section where we play as BT.
Oh, and I need one of those.
Pick up a large object on the ground that is a
Oh no.
Coincidentally, the Scorch loadout is the same loadout that Kane used.
Wait, I can't buy one here?
We're going to use it later on in this level for a fight, so you'll see its abilities then, and we also use it a ton throughout the run.
Damn it.
Activates these huge moving walls at the end of the corridor that move in the direction we need to go.
I thought I could buy one here.
When you reach the end of the corridor, the last one should pass right in front of you before you drop out of the corridor and run to the left. Instead, by holding on to those 2 branches and then using them near the end of the corridor, Brian is able to beat the final wall to the corridor exit and actually get in front of it, riding it to the left where we need to go. This is called wall boost and saves around 9 seconds. Alright, so after performing wall boosts and topping off our health, we switch to the newly acquired Scorch loadout to fight against 3 Titans that are behind a big door that opens up. Brian launches out some incendiary traps, followed by laying down a firewall to explode them, then soaks up and deals some damage with the heat shield ability, followed by using our ult flame core to clean up all 3 Titans. After the encounter, we collect the brute loadout, then hold crouching forward as we disembark from BT, which gives us a bit of extra speed that Brian fully utilizes to cross the large gap to make our way to the cargo lift.
You've got to be kidding me. I can't afford a spanner.
With the cloak ability and calling the cargo lift, we make our way back towards BT and jump straight to the arriving cargo, activating it as we land on it, followed by leaping into the abyss, which actually hits the end of level trigger 2 seconds faster than just riding the lift. Despite the upcoming loading screen, this isn't the end of the mission Into the Abyss, rather the mission is split into 3 parts, so we're now entering part 2 of Into the Abyss. This part of the mission is going to come out of the gates hot, so I'll let you just soak in the high speeds and wall kicks for a moment, commentary free for 12 seconds. It's worth mentioning that this level is an auto-scroller, and it doesn't matter how fast we move here. Here, Brian tries to 360 no-scope a dude walking in the other direction, but clearly isn't MLG enough for us and has to hard-scope the dude like a total scrub. After sliding through some areas like Luke and Cloud City, Brian will take out a dude chilling with his homies so that we can pick up his Spitfire, which is an LMG that we'll use later in the run.
We'll need that.
We'll move in a way that we can take advantage of to get a massive speed boost, which Brian is going to chain into a gentle Spartan kick. Brian is now going to skip a lot of the intended play area by performing an edge boost to reach a rock ledge, where we're going to roleplay the mountain goat for a bit by strictly platforming on rock ledges. This stretch is a great example of where end boosts
I forgot about that one.
wall jump art can get you. Speaking of end boosts though, now would be a good time to talk about a variant of them. Earlier I talked about end boosts and how we get big speed boosts by jumping off your wall run at the end of the wall run animation. I also mentioned the
Yeah, well, good start. Look at that spanner. Hopefully I can get a whole tool bag going here.
wall run, if you press the directional key to move in the opposite direction of the wall you're on, then after a brief moment you'll stop your wall run and be removed from the wall. This brief moment after you press the opposite directional key and before you fall off the wall,
Oh, yeah, there we go.
attached to the wall. It is an example of what's referred to as coyote time. This is a fairly common term in gaming, so I won't fully explain it, plus I've covered it in both our Sekiro run and SpongeBob run, so you all should know what this means. If during this coyote time period you jump off the wall, then you get a big speed boost, which is the forced end boost. It's the same thing as an end boost, but we have greater control over when we want to use it. Additionally, the later in the coyote time window that you jump off the wall, the bigger the boost you'll get. So, back to happenings on screen. We're currently waiting on a platform to move across the level, so after clearing out most of the enemies, Brian is going to have some
Ooh.
one of the robots turn code. We'll refer to the
Just
friendly
in time,
as
eh?
the blue one, and it's going to fight a remaining enemy robot that we'll refer to as the red one, and we're going to sit here and watch the gladiatorial combat between these 2 brave warriors. Red vs. blue, leave a comment for which of the 2 combatants you're pulling for. cylinder.
Oh, shit. What did I miss? I had to move the car for Mom. Alright, let's go get this fixed. Not running.
Wall runs to get on top of the leg will
Then I gotta go. What time is it? Yeah, I gotta get my shit together.
sequence for the facility to try and take us out. Brian is then going to jump over the fence from Jurassic Park and do another damage boost off of the moving wall to get us enough lateral speed to be able to reach the simulation dome that BT is in, aided by a quick wall run.
Whoop.
Once we get inside BT, we're going to immediately begin making a beeline towards the end of the level where we're supposed to have our big showdown with Ash. Rather than fight her though, we're going to perform something called Ash Skip. The name may not be super intuitive, but Ash Skip is a skip where we skip Ash. So after running past and taking
Clean a filter?
don't get in our way,
Oh.
we're going to come to an area where there's another simulation dome on the right side of the screen. Rather than entering the dome, Brian will use the hover ability in the brute loadout to fly on top of a large pipe running along a wall on our right. Past a specific union fitting, Brian is going to crouch and hop out of BT, bringing both us and BT out of bounds. This brings us out of bounds because when we disembark, the game relocates us to the closest location where both Cooper and BT can be standing. And because we had to be crouched to be on top of the pipe, BT couldn't stand there. So once we got out of bounds, Brian immediately turned around and hopped back into BT and now runs along specific lines, avoiding invisible walls and a cutscene trigger, followed by dashing into the void, but we're actually landing on an invisible platform right next to an invisible wall that we need to get through, and to do that, all we need to do is disembark from BT again to clip us through the wall, and then hop back inside to bring BT to our side of the invisible wall. We now just hover to get to the end of the nearby tunnel and run to the exit to hit the end of mission trigger, rounding out into...
Oh, for fuck's sakes, what is going on here?
This brings us into the next mission, Effect and Cause, which, seriously, if you've never played this game, is one of the single coolest video game missions I've ever had the chance to play, and it was so well received that this mission alone has its own Wikipedia page. In the speedrun, it's a pretty straightforward mission for the most part, but it does have its moments. So, in the story of the game, we're still in search of Major Anderson, and upon arriving at the rendezvous coordinates, we find ourselves at an old research facility. We split up with BT at the start to cover more ground, and right away we have sporadic encounters where it appears that we're in the facility while it was in operation. So what's actually happening in the game is that we're jumping back in time, and there's a bunch of time anomaly stuff going on because of the research that was going on at this place back in the day. Brian will eventually make their way to the location of Major Anderson's body, who has somehow gotten himself stuck in concrete, which it turns out was done by him jumping through time at the wrong time, which has caused for the two halves of his body to be in separate locations in the facility. We'll then secure Major Anderson's helmet, which we'll listen to the contents of with BT, who is then going to inform us that because Major Anderson is dead, we're now in charge of all militia forces on the planet due to the chain of command. While Cooper processes the fact that we're now the leader of a group project where we're the only ones doing the work, let's talk about the downside of this mission in the speedrun, which is that it involves a lot of waiting. Like, a lot. For a lot of this waiting, I'm going to be speeding up the footage just so we aren't sitting here twiddling our thumbs while we wait. Right here, though, Brian climbs up to a specific ledge to wait for Major Anderson's briefings to play out. This is because after the briefings wrap up, BT is going to hurl a streetlight into the building we're on, and we're supposed to ride the electrical line like a zip line. It's a lot faster to start riding the zip line halfway up, though, which is why we've taken perch up on this building. Because once BT raises his arm like he's about to throw the light like a hand-aid, Brian will wall run and do a leap of faith to the flight path of the light and give themselves a ton of whiplash by beginning to zip line up despite having momentum in a totally different direction. Once we're inside the building, we have to wait a moment in time shift cycle before a robot is going to pry open the nearby doors, and we'll run through them, and then we're going to perform a skip called Faster Than Light. So behind laser doors in the next room, there's a long hallway bridge that normally takes several time shift cycles to get through. Normally you have to walk through the hallway and slowly wait for each time shift because in the present time the bridge is collapsed and we have to navigate it in the past. What Brian is instead going to do is stand in the laser doorway.
Alright, I think that's it. I think that's it.
And position themselves just on the hallway.
It's not a bad start. Got to be moving along. Yeah, hopefully I can get another big stream in. 2 hours isn't too bad, but yeah, if you were tuned in, thanks for watching. And if you have any comments or suggestions, make sure to create a clip and leave it in the title of the clip so I can see it before the next stream. All right, well, thank you. Have a good day.
Will immediately interact with Major Anderson's rump to take his time-shifting device off his wrists and put it on ours.